Okay, I got a cough drop, so hopefully my throat will be a little bit less scratchy. Um, One thing I forgot. Alright, gear stats. I guess that just shows you what everything is. On this page, you got the loadouts over here. This won't just change your appearance; it'll also change kind of the all the subclass information too. So it's like if I equip this one, it'll change what's going on with my subclass. If it changes this one, it'll change the subclass entirely. It also changes all the mods that are on your armor. It's kind of a way to not just to do like the outfits and stuff like that. It's a way to kind of like quickly swap between builds that'll help you do certain things. You can kind of go over and preview this to see which ones you got, what mods you're gonna have. Um, you can't pull the weapons out of the vault yet. I don't know if they'll fix that. You should be able to. Over here, this is kind of like a way to look at your build as the whole thing. You can kind of like go in and just work on the mods for each armor piece. You can see where all your stats are at. It'll show you what all the artifact perks you're running are. You can click on your subclass to kind of go over that real quickly. It's just kind of a way, like again, this is like the min maxing, the higher end building, build crafting to kind of like quickly double check, and also like if you want to, I guess, save this information and then show it off to someone like I am doing right now. That's what this screen is for. I think that should be everything in the character menu. I have these numbers. This is what season it is. This is my rank in the season. This is my light level. This is my triumph score. I guess that's my XP bar. I don't think there's really anything else to go over here. It's not really much. I don't think there's really anything to go over in the settings menu. It's all pretty straightforward versus what you want to look for, what you want to change. This is kind of like accessibility stuff. You can fiddle with this stuff if you want to kind of see things right. There's a way to like guns didn't used to always just shoot. Kind of some guns, if you just pulled the trigger once, it would just fire once. They changed that to be a setting. You can turn that on or off if you want. Melee is the same thing. You would just punch and then you have to press the button again. Now you can hold down the button to punch. Um, yeah, just setting stuff. Journey's got a lot going on, so we'll just go over clan. It's just kind of what's your clan again. It's like I joined. None of these people are on my timeline, so they're never online at the same time as me. Uh, Clan level kind of determines some bonuses you get, I guess, and it's everybody's experience over the week, over the season. I don't think it's that much is going on. There's a lot going on in the collection screen. Um, okay. Some of this stuff is just like here's what you've got. Like it just shows you what armor you've got, and you can't withdraw armor from the vault. I don't think, or this one I can. I can get this guy. Oh, I guess that makes sense because it doesn't have any randomized gear, randomized aspects to it. But I don't know. Usually you can't get armor out of your what menu are you out of your collections. Universal ornaments. That's kind of like the stuff that I went over with in terms of like decorating. It's like you unlock some of the stuff from the expansions, some of the stuff from the seasons. If you bought like a costume from the store, this is where it would show up, and this is like where you can kind of like preview what they look like. Those don't really match. Um, and if you end up like, I guess I don't know if you can even delete an ornament, but this is where you'd go to re-get it if you accidentally deleted it, I guess. Or maybe I don't. You probably can't even delete it. I think guns are the same as armor. You can't really pull them out of your collections unless they aren't randomized. Like I guess I got this one from something specific. That one's random. That one's random. I guess I got this from like a quest, so it has locked in stats. So I can redraw it. I don't think it's really worth getting any of this stuff from your collections. Exotics are always going to have the same stats. So if you do like accidentally delete an exotic that you want, you can come back in here and you can reacquire it. It's going to cost you just glimmer and legendary shards. Just kind of breaks. It's also like a way to see what I've unlocked, all the stuff that I've gotten. I think a lot of the exotic armor is always the same too, although sometimes the stats are different. Yeah, these aren't very good stats, so I guess a lot of the exotic armor has just some basic stats. So if you like delete something that uses it, exotic weapon ornaments, yeah, again, exotics don't have. You can't change the colors. You have to buy an ornament, or some of them you can unlock. So that's the stuff you can pull out of. This doesn't matter anymore. Yeah, ghost shells you can reacquire. You can delete ghost shells and then come back and re-get them if you don't. If you just want to get rid of them for the resources in the short term, or just because you're running out of space, you can come back and rebuy them. Ships, the same thing. You can delete them if you're running out of space, or if you just want some resources and then come back and rebuy them. Same thing with sparrows. Artifacts, they're just here for your collections. Mods used to be a lot more complicated. Now you should just have access to all the mods. Flare, yeah, emblems don't cost anything to reacquire. If you're running out of space, you can just store it and come back and grab another one. I don't think I have any space to re-grab any more of these guys. Shaders, just a collection tab. Transmat effects, I don't know if we've gone over each. You can equip like a transmat effect, so when you load into an area, that it'll do this little effect. You can equip those to your ship. I guess I didn't go over that. But yeah, when you go into your ship, you can change the color of the ship, and you can change the transmat effect. So when I'm flying this ship and I load into an area, I equip the rainbow, and I'll how do you preview it? Oh, there it is. And you'll load in like this. I think there's some transmat effects that you unlocked with the codes that I sent you. Sometimes you see these, sometimes you hear them, sometimes the game loads too slowly, so it'll happen and you won't even see it happen. But yeah, that's kind of all the flare. This is Halloween masks. You'll get those. These are the finishers. This is just kind of stuff. If you go to the lore tab again, that's all like just there's little short stories. Just kind of like, I don't know. I wish this tab had like basic information about stuff, but you just by doing certain quests, you unlock little short stories, and it's like cool. Okay, I don't have time for that. Medals aren't important. That's the lore stats. If you want to look at stats, kind of like at the recent amount of stuff that's new. So if you ever want to see, it's like a lot of times I'll get like a new shader or not. And I want to see what it looks like. I'll go here. Badges, again, just shows you what you've collected and what you haven't collected for an area or for an expansion. Sometimes the Triumph will require you collect everything in a badge. And speaking of Triumph's journey, this is kind of newer. This whole Guardian rank system is kind of supposed to be a way to introduce people to... Oh, I didn't want to get into this menu. Leveling up. There used to be a different system. This is kind of like now it shows like what your level is. It resets with every season. Each level has certain challenges you got to complete. Some of these gold ones are permanent. Whenever you complete them, they're completed forever. The blue ones reset each season, so you got to recomplete them and kind of like level back up. You'll always go back to 6. I think you're level 4 or 5. Yeah, once you complete any of these golden ones, you always go back to 6 and then reset at the season. This is just kind of like a way to show you where you're at in terms of terms of how much you've played the game. A lot of this stuff is just kind of like walking you through, like, here, get more weapons, do these playlists. Um, some of it's, I guess, locked behind whether you paid for the season. The Lightfall stuff is locked behind whether you're having to pay for Lightfall. Triumphs are just like in-game achievements. They don't really do anything. Yeah, you just kind of unlock them. They make this number go up, and it's just kind of like numbers. I think, some triumphs for some of the, yeah, like some triumphs for some of the expansions will reward you. Like, I'll get a ship as a reward from this one if I do like the harder difficulty of these missions. This is the raid. A lot of triumphs in the raids will unlock equipment or shaders, stuff like that. Yeah, like you can get a ghost shell for finding all the secrets on the throne worlds. For the most part, triumphs are just kind of like, yeah, like the score. You know, like your active triumph score, your lifetime triumph score. It's just kind of like, I guess, bragging rights, in-game achievements. If you want to chase like completing certain challenges, like I said, some of them have rewards as emblems or ghost shells or ships, or when you're doing like harder stuff like the raids, it'll give you exotic gear. And then titles are kind of linked to triumphs, but they're also just kind of like where does it say? Like, I've equipped this title when I'm on the character screen. It'll have the title right here. Titles are kind of like, yeah, it'll just show you what you need to do to unlock. I need to do this one really hard challenge to unlock this title from a couple seasons ago. Every raid has a title. Every expansion has a title. So I got to complete certain difficulty stuff, and then you can just you just equip the title. It's just kind of like for funsies. These are old titles. I think that's everything on this page. Again, it's just kind of like leveling up to kind of like show off how much you've played the game. Seasonal challenges, as if, I don't know if you might have access to some of these, you might not. It's hard. I don't remember what stuff was locked behind paying for the season versus not paying for the season. And I think that's everything in this menu that we've gone over. What is this? Oh, I've always gone into level 7. So we go with the director. There's nothing else in this menu either. No, that's unimportant. Yeah, so there's everything in journey and character menu. We go to the director. There's a lot going on here. A lot to go over. I think you don't really have to go over much here. Again, if you pay for the season, you get all the stuff on the bottom. If you don't pay for the season, you'll just get the stuff at the top, which is a lot of decent stuff early on. But you get a lot more like ornaments and a lot more like colors and stuff. It's not like really important stuff. It's just kind of like aesthetic stuff. I don't know if there's anything to go over in the store. We kind of already went over it. You got the Bright Dust offerings down here. Don't ever buy these. These aren't worth it. There'll be like these Bright Dust things. And then this whole page is Bright Dust resets every day. These are the transmat effects when you come out of your ship. This is the hover. This is the little icon over the ghost. It's usually worth saving up to spend your Bright Dust on like a Sparrow that looks cool, or a gun. Because again, exotic armor. This menu is everything. So if you want to look at everything that's in there, then you can filter by like weapon ornaments. Yeah, like the exotic weapons, you can't just change the color of. You gotta buy a skin. And so sometimes, I don't know how much 700 is, but it's kind of $10 for 1,000. Oh, that's kind of more than $5 for one skin for one weapon. So it's kind of, it's not cheap. a lot of stuff will kind of cycle into the Bright Dust menu. So if you see something, you like kind of always want to check this every week. We went over this. There's a seasonal blah 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 explains what's going on. These are the challenges. I don't know if you can do those. There's a lot on the map page, so I don't know if there's much more on the quest. This whole page got updated and changed around. I gotta do these. These are the white quests for Ada that allow you to... Oh, I should have shown you that. When you do Ada's quests, it'll give you like synthweave stuff that'll go into this menu, and then you go to Ada and you put it in the machine and it gives you synth cord. Then we're in your appearance customization menu. The synth weave is up here, so that means how many things you can turn into an ornament. I don't have any for my ghost or for my hunter, but basically, if you like every piece of armor you've ever unlocked will have like an option in here to kind of unlock it as a you use one of the synthweave templates to unlock it as an ornament that you could use forever. So if like I found this helmet, which is ugly, and I wanted to unlock it forever but put it over the gear. I think I kind of explained all this stuff. I don't know if I explained it well. Like, because this gear's got good stats, but maybe I don't like the way that it looks, so I go to my configure, and I can change the appearance based on stuff that I've already unlocked, either the ornaments that you just get, or if you want to unlock this, you spend one synthweave to unlock it, and then you have it forever as something you can wear over your other helmets. Like I unlocked this one that I think looks pretty cool. I got the spider ones because they look pretty cool. I don't remember what got us there, but yeah, like the store. Oh, the Ada quest. Yeah, like you get the synthesis materials, you take it to Ada's machine, it turns into the synth weave. I don't know why it's that complicated. It just is. In the store, they sell you synthweave, so if you want to just be able to buy the ability to unlock pieces of armor as cosmetics, that's why that's there. Nothing really much else in quests. It's just kind of organized kind of randomly. I guess an easy way for you to kind of like see which quests are for each campaign should be in here. Seasonal quests are in here. Exotic quests to get exotic weapons. You might have access to some of these. I don't know. I'll go to the tower and kind of show where that information is. Stay in the director. I think that's everything. Map. All right. There's a lot going on here, so let's go over it. Here are the credits. That's not important. Kind of went over the timeline before. This is where we did those little quests that allow you to see the story this far. You can also just click on stuff and it'll I guess there's a cinematic in here and another cinematic. Weird. These are new. It'll give you a quick rundown of the story. This was the original story. These were the first two expansions. Then they started doing seasons, so it'll do the story of the expansion, and then it'll do the story of the seasons. If you kind of want to read all that and get a little caught up. Sometimes it'll do like a pretty thorough rundown of what's going on. Like, here's everything that led up to the Witch Queen. But then you get to some of this stuff, and it's like, it's just kind of like, hey, buy this, instead of like doing a rundown of what the story is. Yeah, they kind of after a while just stop really competently summarizing the story. So that's the timeline. It's there. Tower, EDZ, and Nessus are kind of like the only things remaining from the base game. There's kind of like regular zones. You've been to the Cosmodrome. This is the Witch Queen campaign world. Beyond Light campaign. Lightfall campaign. That was Forsaken. We've been there. moon is Shadowkeep. Eternity. This is like a game mode that you can play. It's kind of like it pretends to be like a game show. This is like an area you go to talk to Xur. He runs the game show. Yeah. There's so much. I don't want to be. There's so much to go over, and I don't want to. So, if you look at the Cosmodrome, all these symbols here, these are the strikes. So these are like the little missions. You can just select a mission to play, and it's kind of like the little stories. We did this one early on in the tutorial where we fought the Hive Wizard. If you ever want to just jump into like a little mission and do it to see what it's like, each map has kind of like a couple of strikes associated with it. In the past, they used to have a lot of strikes to kind of go over for each mission. If you have like the seasonal stories, there'll be like seasonal missions that you could do in the regular menu. The Vanguard Ops strike playlist collects kind of all of the strikes and all of older season missions and puts them all into here. So whenever we go into this, that's what we're doing, is we're playing through the strikes, playing through the little story missions that come along with each map and each campaign. Sometimes they only have like the one strike that you can play through. Starting with the Cosmodrome. Yeah, when you're looking at the map, the map's not good. Like, I really hate this map. It's kind of why are there clouds here? Just show me what I need to see. Fast travel point, people of interest. It'll show you where the lost sectors are on the maps. Sometimes they're right where they see them. Sometimes they're a little bit harder to find. This is a dungeon. You have to pay for this one. Dungeons are like 3 people raids. Are kind of like harder activities that you can do from like 1 to 3 people. They give you specific loot for doing stuff on the moon. The moon came with this dungeon that we could do, the Pit of Heresy. Again, it'll show you where all the lost sectors are. This one also has another dungeon that you have to pay for. This symbol, these are the raids. I've never done a raid. I don't know. They're hard. You need like 6 people. So that's what's on each map. Oh, these little symbols. The little gold symbol next to a planet. Each week, one dungeon is like, will give you good gear. And let you kind of like farm it for that week. And then each week, one of the raids will be the same. You can do one of the raids and get good gear. So that's what the little gold symbol next to it means. God, there's a lot. It's just hard to focus on what. Yeah, the gold symbols here basically mean that if you do. Oh yeah, these are called ritual activities. Vanguard, Gambit, Crucible. If you do so many, it'll get you some powerful gear and give you an exotic engram that you can unlock at Rahul. Sometimes it tells you what this is. Yeah, I guess it does. Like, if you hover over some of the stuff, it'll kind of like break it all down. Let's go to the tower, because it'll be a little bit easier to kind of go over that stuff from the tower as well. Oof, that might have been a mistake. Who knows how long this will take to load. Ugh.